Well, guys, I don't know what we're getting into this morning. It's November the 6th. Last night they were forecasting southeast to south winds today. Now it's switched to east northeast to northeast. And then if you check another side, it still says southeast. So I don't know. I think I'm going to just go back to where I hunted yesterday morning and push up just a little bit further and maybe get away with the southeast a little better. If it does blow southeast but still be good for northeast, I don't know. I'm gonna think about it. I got about 20 minutes before I get there, so next time you see me, we'll be in a tree. Well, we got set up. I think we dropped the pack about 5:45. Ran into multiple deer on the way back here. One just bounded off like it's supposed to. The other one wouldn't leave me alone. He had to figure out what I was and finally got my wind and blew and took off. They 100% don't care about a headlamp. Walk right up on them. It's the noise that gets them. It's not the light. It's the craziest thing. I could hear 2 trucks on the gravel as I was walking in. So I may have company once again, but I pushed a little bit further than where I was at yesterday morning. I don't like how open it is, but we've got a what I'm guessing is a bedding area with all these white oaks dropping on the edge of it behind us up on this ridge. And then I know there's a bedding area on the point across from us. If we could just get a good buck cruising looking for a doe, I think we'd be in the money. To at least see him, I don't know. I wasn't really seeing the sign I wanted to. I found a pretty fresh scrape right here, so I was like, that's good enough. I set up. Good news is I can see quite a bit, so maybe we can lay eyes on something at least. But I'm gonna get quiet. It's about 6:30. how much of that I got on camera. But just like seems like every deer I've been seeing this trip come right to the base of the tree. Except this time, that crazy deer that I saw several days ago on the ridge over from this was chasing her. I could tell when I saw her she was moving at a pretty good clip. I felt like there was going to be a buck behind her. And I kept looking and I saw antlers. She got all the way underneath my tree, did the same thing as the other deer, and kind of wigged out on my ground scent. And she spun and did a 180 up the hill, and he took off after her, grunting. She's getting ready to come in heat, I'd say. I wish she wouldn't have spooked, because she'd have went right down here, across and up into that bedding area where those does were the other day, which would have been perfect. I know I got her on camera pretty good, but I don't know if I got him. He's a mature deer, what I would call a mature deer. I think he may be 3, but my goal on public's 3 years old. If I keep seeing him, especially getting later in the hunt, I will shoot that deer. Because he is really freaking cool. I'd never kill another one like him. I just didn't want to shoot him the other day, and I don't want to shoot him now because I got so much time left. But he's definitely at least a 3-year-old, which is what my goals are. Anytime I hit these public trips. It's just 8 o'clock now. We'll lay in here a little longer. If this wind keeps doing what it's doing now, we may lay in here all day and bump up the ridge just a little, or out the ridge a little, I mean. That was the one. That was the deer we're looking for. You don't get more than one opportunity, and I don't really count that as an opportunity. I thought that deer got my wind, and he may have. But he shouldn't have. I don't know why he was cruising that low on the ridge. It makes no sense. But it saved his life. Looked like a 140-inch deer. But then after he takes off, those 2 coyotes come through, so hopefully it was the coyotes and it wasn't me. But I don't know why that buck did what he did. I said to Logan jokingly that if I'd done anything right this trip, I'd picked the right trees. I said, but you watch. I'll see a big one, he'll be 50 yards through the brush. That's exactly what happened. That was a really big public land deer. I'm hoping it was those coyotes and he didn't get my wind. That's what I was just doing, was checking my wind. Dang it. Just my experience, you only get to see one of those a trip. Still cool. Guarantee you that's the deer making this sign. I finally got on it. He was doing exactly what he should have been doing. Cruising this downwind side. I just don't know why he was at the bottom of the ridge instead of the top. Or at least halfway up. It saved his life. He was about 20 yards from being in range. Disappointing and exciting. Cool to see big deer like that. It's cool to know that you can get on big deer like that. I need to be on out this ridge about 50 yards. And I may do that mid-morning and then just stay in here. Well, this is kind of some bad luck, but we've got a big storm front moving in. Like, lots of rain. And it's getting close to hitting about an hour. It's about 10:15. I wanted to sit all day. But I'm gonna pack up, tear down, and slip out of here before I get in a situation where I get everything soaked or I shoot one and can't find it. If it was just a little drizzle, it'd be fine sitting in that. It's actually one of my favorite times to hunt. If it's dumping rain, it's just a recipe for disaster. Well guys, this is not how I wanted to close out day 7 and November 6th from camp, but that's what I had to do. It started raining shortly, well, I hadn't even quite made it to the truck yet, about 11:15 or so. And it's pretty much rained ever since. There's been a few periods where it'd slack off, but there's some heavier rain coming, and there's been a few times that it's really opened up. It looks like it's here to stay through lunchtime tomorrow, but I'm still going to check the weather early in the morning. It kills me, especially seeing that good buck this morning, to not be right back in there, but it gave me a chance to run the town and stock back up on a few groceries, and I'm working on some videos for you guys. I'm hoping to, if I don't get to hunt in the morning, I may be able to get caught up through day 7. I'd like to get 2 or 3 done tonight, and then 2 or 3 tomorrow, maybe 4 if I'm doing good. Takes a while to get all this footage on here, but the point of this video is on the way out, I've just about beat the paint off of my bow already before this. I've had, you name it, sticks and, you know, just carrying it and beating brush and everything. When you hunt like this, it's hard on your equipment, and that's why it's important to have good equipment. Well, on the way out, I was going down a pretty steep bank and got tripped up on a stick and took a tumble. I'm okay, but all 185 pounds of me and the 50 pounds on my back pretty much went straight on the side of my bow, and I was kind of concerned about it. Everything looked okay just looking at it. Well, I got out here to shoot it, and I just tossed the target out there at like 35 or 7. I think it's 37, and first shot I almost missed the block low. I mean, I was in it, but it was 6 inches, 8 inches low. And I was like, that's weird. Shot again, same spot. And I looked at, peep can't move. Rest is good. Obviously knocking point's good. I was like, it has to be the sight. I looked at this, back up. When I first went to shoot, I keep my sight on 20. I'd hit hard enough that that single pin had moved all the way down to like 28, which is hard to do, and I had a bunch of dirt crammed up in the windage block on the sight. Well, after shooting it and eliminating the peep and arrow rest, I was like, it's got to be that sight. And I looked, I kind of held it up and looked, and the bubble was off. And what I'd done is I'd hit that housing so hard that it had raised my scope up and knocked my bubble out. And, you know, imagine this is level. It kicked my scope up like this, moving my pin up. So I just eyeballed it, put it back, and it was pretty much hitting on. I think I took a half a yard or a yard out of it, and we're drilling the dot again. So we can go back to the woods with confidence. So this is your reminder that even though you're hunting hard right now, go out and shoot your bow. Even if you don't have one incident like that, you know, where something might be off, or maybe your equipment's good and you might be off. You know, we're so good about practicing early in the season that once season comes where you kind of slack on it, especially in the rut when we're, you know, doing a lot of long sits and stuff. So go out, shoot a handful of arrows at the very least, just to verify everything's good. It's so hard to get that opportunity on a big buck. You don't want to mess it up because of some kind of equipment failure, or just because you didn't practice enough. So we'll see you tomorrow. I'll update you in the morning, kind of what's going on. Over and out.